Social media has become a vital marketing pillar for so many salon businesses. Here are my 5 tips on getting more clients through socials.
All on Build Your Salon.
Hello, 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 my salon friends. How on earth are you? Achingly well, I hope. Phil Jackson here, your queen of salons, coming in your eyes and ears again with another dose of wise owl wisdom. So today's episode is all about restoring balance, because I'm a Libra and it's important to me. I did an episode last week basically explaining how you could be promoting your salon business without using socials at all. And I got an interesting bit of feedback, actually. 1 or 2 people saying that they've made the decision to deliberately ignore socials as part of their marketing plans. And I'm desperate to find out more. If you've decided to reject socials, please reach out, let me know, phil@buildyoursalon.com. I would love to hear why you made the choice and how that's working out for you, because I think there's a lot of people who are not actually enjoying the time they spend on socials. But that said, I wanted to present both sides of the coin. So today we've got 5 tips on how we get clients from social media. So it's not just about creating more content for socials, and I'm not going to put any strategies on content creation in here at all, but it's about how we get clients from social media. And I think that's the bit that's missing. I think we've got a very skewed idea on what social media can do for us as salon business owners. I think there are some outliers out there. There are people who have built huge businesses, very successful businesses, purely off the back of social media. There are a few of them, and I think that's held up as an example of what it should be for all of us. And I don't think that's the case. I think for most of us, social media is an amazing tool for deepening connections with an existing audience. I personally don't think that social media is great for getting us new clients. That said, let's jump in and figure out how we could be getting new clients from social media. And the first thing I want you to do, my first tip, is to do the type of social media that you enjoy. Now, of course, we need to be hanging out in the places where our ideal customers are. So if all of your customers are hanging out on TikTok, you spending all of your time on Facebook groups is not going to work out well for you. That said, I also don't believe that if you absolutely loathe and despise TikTok, I don't believe that you're going to do an amazing job at content creation. So try and keep to the kinds of content that you enjoy. Now, not many of us particularly enjoy being on video. It's something that I've had to get used to. I've had to make friends with over the years. I've had to coach myself through that process of getting on camera without overthinking it. But video does have a huge amount of impact. It's prioritized on lots of these social media platforms. So I don't think you should completely ignore it. In fact, I don't think you should completely ignore anything that social media has to offer. But you can lean in to the kind of content that you do best. So if you're great on camera, do more video. If you'd much rather put together more text-driven stuff, some more kind of tutorial-y stuff, carousels are for you. If you want something that's very in-depth, if you really want to go to town with your content, you want to be on camera for 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes, Instagram Live is where you're at. So try and choose the bit of these platforms that resonates with what you want to do, because if you enjoy it, you're going to do the best job at it. So try and lean into the stuff that you enjoy. Those clues are going to tell you about the success of your content too. That leads me on to tip number 2, and that is to do the stuff that works. And I see people that get this wrong all the time. So most of us bumble along, not getting huge amounts of traction, and then every now and again we get an outlier. We get a video or a post that does really well, and we get extraordinary results that are much higher than we would normally expect from our social media content. So let's say that you are a salon that's been doing a mix of content, and all of a sudden you do a behind the scenes video, you do a reel on Instagram, and it goes really, really well. What most business owners will do is say, okay, what I'm going to do next time is I'm going to do a behind the scenes not at work, or I'm going to do a day in the life, or I'm going to do a transformation story, or I'm going to do a client testimonial. But the market's telling you, the algorithm is telling you that what works really well is a reel from behind the scenes. So what you should do is do another one. Find an excuse, find a different angle, find a different slant, find a different day, a different vibe, a different team member, but do more of what's working until it doesn't work anymore. And what you'll find as you're polishing and refining is you get closer and closer and closer to what your audience actually wants from you. And lots of people feel that it's going to get repetitive, it's going to get boring, it's going to get dull. Not at all. We tune into our favourite shows on Netflix because they deliver more of what we want, not because they deliver something completely different. If you tuned in to a particular channel and you wanted to watch, let's say you're watching the Wildlife Channel, you're watching National Geographic, and all of a sudden they're putting sitcoms in there, you're going to get very confused and you're going to scratch your head a little bit and probably not tune in quite as often because they're not delivering what you expected and what you want. And that's what's happening on social media all day, every day. So give the clients more of what they want, steer away from the stuff that they don't want that you feel you ought to be doing. They're telling you what they want with the results. Tip number 3, you're going to love this one because we actually get to cut down on the amount of work that you're doing, my darlings, by recycling your content. Yes, I'm saying it's okay to take the same post, the same reel, the same carousel and put it out there again without changing anything. Maybe change the caption if you want to, but you can put it out there again. Scandalous, Phil. How on earth could you possibly suggest such a thing? Well, the algorithm is your friend here because it's not showing your content to very many people. So let's say you've got 1,000 followers on Instagram. If you put a post out there, Instagram's going to show it to about between 1 and 2% of your followers. 1% of 1,000 is 10 people. Okay? 990 people didn't see it. Unless it gets some interaction, it gets some traction, it gets some likes, gets some saves, gets some shares, gets some comments, then Instagram will show it to a few more people and a few more people. But the chances of you recycling that post in 3 months' time and the same 10 people seeing it are very, very slim indeed. And even if they do, it's been 3 months and we're giving them more of what they want. In the meantime, you'll have attracted some new followers who haven't seen any of your content before anyway. There is no harm in recycling your good content. Don't recycle the crap that didn't get any traction. But if you want to refilm a reel on the same topic, or you want to change up the captions or change up the colors in a carousel or change what a post looks like, then by all means do. But there's nothing wrong in just putting the same post out there again. There you go. Saved you a little bit of work. Tip number 4 is that social media is part of your marketing journey. It's part of your marketing picture. And I think social media works best for getting clients when it's supported by other platforms. So don't just put something on social media that stands on its own. Have the stuff that's on social media also reflected in Salon, also reflected in your emails, also reflected in the promos that you're running. So everything ties together nicely. Best example I've got of this is one of my coaching clients, Emma, and basically she themes the month. So she will have one thing that she's talking about on social media, also reflected in her promotions, also what she's emailing her customers about. She's just chosen a service or a group of services, and that's all she talks about for a month at a time. You could maybe even extend that into a 6-week period, depending on your average return rate and the kind of interaction you're getting. But test it, see how it feels. I don't think social media is great for getting you clients necessarily, but I do think it's really good for supporting other bits of marketing too. If I come into the salon, see a promotion, and I've already seen it 3 times on social media, am I more or less likely to take the action when I come into the salon? Of course, it's more likely that that social media is supporting what we want people to do. And the 5th and final tip is if you want social media to get you clients, you've got to ask. I see lots of people putting really good content out there and they're not asking people to book. They're not asking people to send a message. They're not asking people to do anything except like and follow. And that's not getting you clients. What that's doing is getting you followers. What we want is people that actually convert. So ask them to send you a direct message so that you can start a conversation, which then may pivot into a sales conversation. Ask them to give you their email address so that you can get some sort of download over to them, some sort of lead magnet that's going to entice people into becoming leads that you can then email. So ask, ask, ask. Every post that you put out there should have a call to action. If nothing else, asking people to book now and telling them how they can go about that. So you're never going to get to the stage where people on social media are converting and turning into clients if you don't tell them what to do next. So there we have it, my 5 tips, without telling you the kind of content that you need to put out there. 5 tips on how you can get more clients for your salon business through social media. What have I missed? I don't know everything. I love hearing from you guys on what's working in your business. Reach out, let me know. phil@buildyoursalon.com. If you're over on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss a single episode of my Wise Hour Wisdom. If you're on one of the podcast platforms listening right now, please leave me a review. Your 5 stars will absolutely make my day, my week, my month, and even my year. Just 7 short days until I'm coming in your eyes and ears again with another episode of the Build Your Salon podcast. And until then, take care.